No, so I did talk, Eddie and I worked together, so I did talk to him briefly about it. Because he's like a little son to me at work, you know? So we did have a conversation, but, you know, here on the podcast, I'm just going to ask you guys now. I know I want you to speak on you can all speak on this, on how you feel. Because even if you agree or did agree and to agree, because that's what he has to do, then it is what it is. Yeah. But how do you guys feel about moving in with one another? Is that something you would do before marriage, I should say? Y'all want to start?
I mean,
I think the sinners. No, I'm just kidding.
You are really trying it. Another palm tree just grew.
You about to start having pina coladas over here.
You just sitting there basking in the shade. Jesus.
Me personally, I think that what's that old saying?
The milk before you can. Why buy the cow? Wait, what is it? Why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? Boom, there it is.
That whole saying is like just an older
cliche.
folks.
It's just like whatever.
It's just a cliche.
It's just a saying.
Like, okay.
But I heard that though.
But I also believe like you should see how that person interacts in the house with you. What do they do? Do they clean up after themselves? Like, because you really can't know a person by living. They have their apartment, you have your apartment. They come over because you're gonna clean up, show your best when they come over. You know, I mean, if we're gonna be honest about it, like, I mean, I used to have a cleanup lady come over, clean up the house before Gabbie came over, have it all nice and tight.
I would come over and I was like, oh my God, your stuff is so clean. Look, I was like, you had all your clothes are folded neatly.
But Gabbie didn't do that.
I didn't do that. My clothes was
we had to clean it, but Gabbie's like, don't let them touch my stuff.
So
I do it.
It's just I think that.
But also, like, Jeremy and I had a weird situation. Like, we knew we would. It wasn't more so. It was like a instant. Like, we have to figure it out just because he had to move instantly for his job, and so it's just like. And then his options were just really limited at the time. So I'm like, okay, so my boyfriend's not going to be homeless. So let's just move in together because you can't be homeless. Like that's just not a thing. So for us, and then even that was like an adjustment period because we hadn't even talked about living together at that point. That wasn't something that we had even really discussed.
It was definitely something that sprung.
That was like really sprung
it just
on
sprung
us.
On the whole family.
It was sprung on the whole family. Shady Lisa, and then we had to just go with it. Like that was a learning curve that we both had because I'm like, I still need my space. Like I'm used to having my own this being my own bed. I can sleep in the middle. Now I got to sleep on the side. Like it was an adjustment period, but I was worried about that too because I've heard from multiple people that it was just like, oh, you know, the cow saying whatever. And like people who like big sisters to me in college, they said the same thing. And I'm like, well, I guess that makes sense. You know, like there's some credibility behind that. I can see why people think that way. You know, because what if he get too comfortable and then he doesn't propose and y'all just playing a house and stuff like that. So I think, but it also, like Jeremy was saying, it kind of like forced us to get to know each other. Like Jeremy knows I'm not really a cleaner. Like when it comes to like dishes, like I'm not gonna wash a dish. We need to have a dishwasher so I can load a mean dishwasher and push start. But I'm not about to like scrub. Like that's just not what I'm doing.
No.
But those are things that we had to learn. We kind of like just learned.
You wouldn't have learned that if you didn't
being together. So I mean, like I respect people who don't do it, who decide to wait. But it's just like because of our situation, what it was, it just worked. You know.
I mean, I agree. It's just like back in the day, and now it's a whole new age and. Speaking on what me and Lisa was talking about, my mom, she's African, so she's strict. She buy the books. She like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, she like, so that's what I was talking about, Lisa. I was just pretty much saying that like my mom wouldn't be for that, but at the end of the day, it's my life and my relationship, so I'm gonna have to make those choices on what's best for me.
Yeah.
And if she with it, she with it. But if she not, she not. But I was just pretty much saying like, you know, she might not be for it, but if it's saving us money,
because I was thinking that's how we talked about it.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that I respect that about you, and your decision to, you know, listen to your mom and your upbringing and respect that's how she feels about it. Because the conversation came because I was like, if she moves here, you all could save money if you're living together. Could save you guys from her paying or living with someone and paying someone, and then you're paying rent somewhere, and at the same time you get to know each other. And I know a lot of people who listen may not agree. They may be like your mom. You know, I know I'm not the average mom. You know, not every mom would allow their daughter's boyfriend to move in and have the basement. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone is that mom, but I trust him and I love Jeremy like a son. So for me, I'm with Gabbie. Things just kind of happen, and what else are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You're like a son. I can't say you like a son and then don't treat you like a son. Do you know? Yeah. So for us, that was different. But I totally respect where you were, and I understand everybody's dynamics are different. But at the same time, I guess you all will try to figure it out when the time comes. Right. You'll know what's best for you.
So my upbringing was very similar to Gabbie. Okay. So my mom, it's not necessarily for it, but she wouldn't be like, no, you don't need to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's where we are with that. But at the same time, back to saying that we're not dating just to be dating.
Right.
I do respect his mother's opinion, and that's where she wants. And okay. So I kind of respect that and can keep that balance. Okay, we can hold off and sacrifice that for now. So we have to do that.
Right.
And we'll just make a way around it. So that's why I say I may or may not be relocating immediately.
Yeah.
Just so we can
figure it
out. Yeah. I mean, because it's not like we live in the South. Like, it's not cheap to live up here. So
that's where I'm moving from. Right. It's like,
it's not like when I go to visit my friends in Atlanta, and they're like, yeah, girl, my rent is $900. I'm like, $900,
and that's on the high end.
And that's on the and she got like a 2-bedroom. And I'm like, she got like
granite and all that.
Yeah, she don't have a white appliances. She got stainless steel. I'm like, ooh, this is real nice. You do $900. You in the hood up here,
right?
And that's pushing. And they like,
that's fine.
Like you hear the ambulance. You know what I mean?
Night.
So I get that. I completely understand that. But it's also, and that's why I'm also kind of why I'm grateful that my mom did let Jeremy, because it was like sprung up on us, so that we can save some money and try to like figure it out, because we don't even know where we want to live. That's a whole nother conversation right there, because you got to blend two people's ideas and wants, and he need his own man room. I'm like, but do you though? And it's just like, oh, I need a space to smoke cigars, but do you though? It's just like, oh, let's do this house. I like this house. So it's like, it don't have a backyard. You don't even want to cut the grass. Do we need a backyard? You know, so it's a headache.
It's the point.
Is that where you guys feel kind of the same?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, living up here is not cheap.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, if you know what your end goal is, it shouldn't matter what's really going on.
Yeah. Because like Cortney said, we're not dating just to be dating.
Because listen to me. The thing for me is the sin isn't that you're living. You've already done the sin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't stop it from living together. And I guess she said you just don't need to add on. But one sin isn't. The thing people forget though is no sin is greater than the other. And I think people always lose sight of that. And when people are talking about sins, it's like, well, come on now. We live in a sinful world, and we all sinning. So, in some point of aspect of your life, you've sinned, and we all know that one sin is greater than the other. So, but it's still you have to respect that. That's what she is.
She came home and was like, "Oh my God, Eddie respects his mother's," and I was just like, what? And I was looking at her like, "So what you trying to say? What are you saying, Lisa? What exactly are you saying?" Well, I'm just saying, Gabbie. Like, you wouldn't have said that. You wouldn't have responded like that. I said, look, I respect Eddie. You can't be making me look bad, okay? I said, go tell Eddie that. You're making me look bad. Tell him that. I'm like, dang. She was like, well, he gonna come over later. I said, well, tell him before he comes. You making me look bad, Eddie. Dang.
But I think honestly, like when it comes down to that, just like speaking on like parents or whoever the guardian is, I think like a lot of people would just use that just to be that guardian or that parent in some ways. But it's like, have you always stuck to everything by the book?
Right.
So everything by the book.
Nah.
You know, like even watching that Black Panther movie, which was a great movie. Viewers, y'all should go see it. Listeners, you should go see it. Like that, it's a point in the movie where the father made a decision that affected the whole community, and was quiet about it. But everybody that looked up to him never would have thought that he would have done something like that
because it wasn't by the book.
But because it wasn't by the book, they would look at him that he was always by the book. He stayed to the law, stayed true to what his religion or whatever it might have been. I just think like sometimes we do fall short of
by the book,
quote unquote, the by the book, whatever religion is. But at the same time, or whatever religion you practice. But at the same time, it's just like, whatever you do to survive in the world that you live in, I mean, I think that's what you should do. And when it comes down to relationships, understanding like living in a more urban environment or a city environment, knowing it's going to be more expensive. Why would you have somebody live even farther from you just to like have a cheaper rent or a cheaper mortgage when they can live with you and you break that in half?
Or whatever the dynamic
whatever
is,
that might look like.
Yeah.
Or why would you have them live in a place where it's more crime or something like that just to live somewhere cheaper? You know, I think like you weigh those odds when you're in a relationship and you have two incomes and you can make the best decision for yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more so like a parent thing, like, okay, I went this route, but I'm gonna hold you to a higher standard.
Absolutely, because we want more for your kids. You do. You want a different life than you had for your children. You know, as a mom, that's what you want. And your dad, you know, I mean, I'm talking to Eddie. Eddie's a dad. And let's just move into you being a dad. Because you, Cortney, you're coming into this. You're not the mother of his child. You know, this is now a blended family is what you're about to become. So, and that's hard work within itself because there has to be boundaries. Like, are you going to be the type of stepmom who just sides with Eddie because he's your man? Or are you able to separate and say, okay, well, you're being a little hard on the child's mother. Okay, well, I don't really agree with you. You know, are you able to be that woman for him? Or are you that woman who's going to be like, you know, because some women are just like, everything is on the side of their man. I'm the woman who's going to tell you, I'm on the side of right. We have these conversations all the time.
That's me.
I have these conversations with him all the time. I'm not going to side with you because you're like a son or you're like my friend.
Right.
I have to side with whoever's right. Now, when she's wrong, and I might say, oh, I don't think that's right, you know. But, you know, so that's hard. You have to come in and, you know, you're not trying to be a mother, but at the same time, you are like a mom because you're there, you're going to be there, you're going to be helpful. Your son is really young. So you are still a mother. He gets to have the best of both worlds. He gets to have two moms. Yeah. You know, and if his mom ever gets married, he gets to have two dads. And even though we don't like to say, you say you're the dad, and you're an amazing dad, Eddie. Yeah. An amazing dad. So, and you have an amazing son.
Thank you.
So, we have to say that he's so freaking smart and so cute. So, I have to give props to you because we don't do that enough, you know. Yeah. Young men don't step up to the plate the way you do. All men would know, the average man, and not all men would have moved up here to be closer to his son and take on that responsibility to be a father figure to his son. And in a sense, not like every other weekend father. You have joint custody. You are very active in his life. You are there recording his little programs because I got to watch it, you know. So I'm saying you go above and beyond. You're doing whatever you have to do. You change your schedule. You're being that parent, and people don't understand. I'm a single parent. I was a single mom, so I know the struggle. I know how real that is. So that's why I have mad respect for you, and I definitely wanted to put this on here because that's so important that people know that.
Yeah,
because
that's dope.
Not all men are doing it. Grown ass men aren't doing that. So for you to be so young and to take on that responsibility the way you have, I just have mad respect for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you know, how do you, Cortney, I guess the question still holds, like, how do you feel about that? I mean, you knew going in he had a son, of course.
Yeah, so I think that's most important. Like, I knew going in what I was getting into.
Yeah.
I mean, and I knew that accepting him meant that I accepted his son in whatever relationship that he had with his child's mother.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. Like, I knew that going into it. And I knew that if I wasn't prepared to deal with that, good or bad, then that he's not somebody that I need to be with.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Be proud.
So I mean, I guess so. I work with kids. That's for a living. So
he does too.
I loved him first off. I mean, he's a good kid, but I was more so concerned if he liked me or not.
That's so cute. He loves people.
But yeah, I mean, I guess long term it would be present some challenges or some concerns just figuring out that dynamic. And because he is so young, he knows who I am, but he doesn't know who I am.
Right.
So I'm like his dad's friend.
Right.
You know? The friend is always around. His best friend. So he